In this lesson, we'll learn how to create an image plane manually and place reference images. First, go to the top view. From the View menu, choose Image Plane Import Image. After creating the plane, I'll move it below the origin so it doesn't overlap with the objects we'll create. With the plane selected, click the Layers button in the channel box to create a new display layer. In Photoshop, deleting a layer also deletes the contents inside it. However, Maya's display layer is used only for managing objects. Deleting a display layer does not delete the objects assigned to it. In other words, display layers help organize objects and control their visibility. Go back to the layer and set it to reference mode. Reference mode keeps the object visible but prevents it from being selected accidentally. Now let's switch to the top view. Finally, enable shading, X-ray, so you can see both the model and the reference image at the same time. Now, let's create a cube and model a single keycap. I'll set the dimensions to 1.8 in width, 1 in height, and 1.8 in depth. Since I want a slightly concave keycap, I'll bevel it first and then add supporting edges. First, select only the corner edges and apply a bevel to create a rounded rectangular shape. Next, I'll bevel the top edges using slightly different settings. The top face is currently an n-gon. Before adding more edges, I'll convert it into a quad-based topology. I'll use the multi-cut tool to connect the edges. Before deforming the keycap, I'll duplicate one as a spare for longer keys like the spacebar and Shift key. The Insert Edge Loop options let you add multiple edge loops at once. Simply enter the desired number and apply it to create multiple edge loops at the same time. Now select the top vertices and use Deform. Bend to create a subtle curved shape. After deleting the construction history, I'll duplicate the key while positioning it according to the reference image in the top view. You can use Shift-D to quickly repeat the previous duplication. I'll duplicate and position the next row in the same way. Now let's create the longer keys. I'll use the duplicated key and adjust its length. Instead of scaling it, I'll move the vertices so the shape stays intact. Once again, I'll add multiple edge loops and apply a bend deformer to create a subtle curve. The remaining keys were created using the same process. For the spacebar, I'll increase the bend curvature slightly to give it a gentle convex shape. Once everything is finished, select all the keys and press Ctrl-G to group them together. Now, let's create the keyboard base. Create a cube, then add edge loops while following the blueprint in the top view. Select the faces where the recesses will be, then apply an extrude. Next, use a lattice deformer to give the surface a slight overall slope. Now, select the outer corner edges. Select contiguous edges allows you to select connected edges even if the topology isn't entirely quad-based. Once selected, apply a bevel with appropriate settings. Repeat the same process for the inner edges by selecting only the areas you want to bevel. If not all the edges are selected at once, simply run the command a few more times. Hold Shift while selecting to continue adding to your selection. Once selected, apply a bevel with appropriate settings. Finally, position the key group on the keyboard base. Now that the model is mostly complete, we can delete the image plane. Select both the keyboard base and the key group. Then press Ctrl-G to group them together. In the outliner, select all the keys and open the Rename tool. Type key and press Enter to automatically rename them in sequence. It's a good habit to organize object names after modeling, as it makes future work much easier. Finally, let's refine the side profile of the keys in the side view. Select an entire row, then press F8 to edit the components of multiple objects at the same time. Select only the top vertices and apply a lattice deformer. Before deforming, make sure to set the lattice divisions first. Then use the lattice control points to shape the keys naturally. I refined the remaining rows using the same technique. Since this is a simple prop, I won't apply smooth and will finish the model as it is. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and hit the bell for more Maya tutorials. Thanks.